Travel back in time with me. Let's do 5 years exactly to the day, so it's May 20th, 2020. Imagine you are saving to buy your first home. Maybe the home you're looking at is around $200,000 at the time, and so 10% down would be $20,000 to get into the house and get a mortgage. You currently have $10,000 saved. So what should you do with that $10,000 while you continue to save the rest of the money until you get to the 20K? So let's do a quick comparison to see what might be the best option for preserving that value over time, also considering inflation into that equation. Okay, so here is our example. We're looking at our investment type of holding cash, if that cash was invested in the S&P 500, and if it was invested into Bitcoin. Now, so let's take a look at the cash first. The nominal value in 2025 of that $10,000 that we had in 2020 is still $10,000. So nominal is just the numerical number amount of the money itself. It's not how much it actually purchases, right? It's not the underlying purchasing value of the money itself. So if we adjust that for inflation in 2020 dollars, that same $10,000 that you had in 2020 actually is only worth $8,092, which is a real return of negative 19.1%. So what does that mean? That means if you were to just hold cash for 5 years, you would have lost almost $2,000 worth of purchasing power. Next, let's look at the S&P 500. If we were to invest that $10,000 into the S&P 500 in 2020, today's nominal value of that $10,000 would be $17,774. But if we adjust that for inflation, the actual purchasing power of that is $14,379 of the 2020 dollars. So the real return on that was positive 43.8% over the course of 5 years. So that's way better, right? Like, at least our purchasing power is not being eroded. We actually gained purchasing power over the course of the 5 years when we invested into the S&P 500. Now, we're still shooting for that 20K target to get to our down payment that we need for our house. This got us a lot closer, right? Maybe we're able to save more along the way, and maybe that'll get us there. But maybe the house prices went up too. So we're kind of fighting that uphill battle in that way as well. And finally, let's take a look at Bitcoin. The nominal value of $10,000 when invested in 2020 is $108,000. Remember, that's the nominal value. Adjusted for inflation, that is $87,696. So that $10,000 that you invested in 2020 into Bitcoin grew to the value of $87,696 in the 2020 dollar value. That is a gain of 776.9%. With numbers like that, you not only met your goal, you nearly got to half of the value of the house that you're trying to purchase just over the course of 5 years from saving $10,000 initially into Bitcoin. Now, the adjusted for inflation dollars, that's actually really conservative too, because what we were using for that was the actual reported, it's called CPI, Consumer Price Index. It's a measurement of inflation that the government gives us. And that's often criticized for not being truly accurate because they kind of cherry pick certain consumer goods that they want to throw into the basket to make the metric. Things like housing aren't even included in that. When housing, we know, substantially went up over the course of 5 years. That's not even included in the inflation metrics. So potentially those numbers that we saw are actually a lot more inflated, either to the negative side if you held cash, or to the positive side if you held a more scarce asset like the S&P 500 or Bitcoin. The more you learn about Bitcoin, the more you realize that it is not a speculative bet at all. The fundamentals of the asset class is essentially technology that makes the number go up. It's a limited supply, fixed cap, and it's always going up because there's more and more demand coming into it. I wanted to provide that example to show you what's possible with Bitcoin. It's always a good option for storing long-term capital. If you have a savings goal and it's a longer-term horizon, the volatility of Bitcoin doesn't matter because it always is on an upward trajectory. Even though it's volatile, it's still always going up long-term. The volatility is just due to it being a new asset class. Well, I hope this comparison was useful. Let me know in the comments what you think. Was it useful? Did you like it? Do you think it's dumb? Either way, let me know. I'm curious. All right, later, guys.